What happens when a Hollywood star, known for humor and heart, clashes with a host unafraid of sharp questions? This moment on Whoopi Goldberg's talk show became a television sensation, dividing audiences and sparking global conversations. No one in the studio was prepared for what happened next. The studio of The View buzzed with anticipation. Bright spotlights bathed the stage in warm light, and the live audience chattered, awaiting the guests' arrival. On the large screen behind the hosts, clips from Adam Sandler's new film, a comedy promising to be a hit with his signature blend of humor and sincerity, flashed by. Adam Sandler, a beloved figure known for his laid-back style and roles that make audiences laugh and cry, was set to discuss his latest project. Whoopi Goldberg, the main host, sat at the center of the table, her signature smile both welcoming and slightly sly. Beside her were Sarah Haynes and Sunny Hostin, exchanging glances as they prepared for another lively broadcast. The audience hummed, phones in hand, ready to capture every moment. Backstage, producers reviewed the script, camera operators adjusted their lenses, and sound engineers monitored microphones. Everything seemed set for a perfect show. But as it turned out, this episode would go down in history. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adam Sandler," Whoopi announced, and the studio erupted in applause. Adam stepped onto the stage, dressed in his usual casual style, jeans, sneakers, and a loud Hawaiian shirt. His wide grin and casual wave sparked even louder cheers. He hugged Whoopi, shook hands with Sarah and Sunny, and settled into the guest chair, looking as comfortable as if he were at home. The audience laughed when he tossed out a joke about navigating New York traffic to get to the studio. "Adam, welcome to The View," Whoopi said, her voice warm but with a glint of mischief in her eyes. "Your new movie looks like another hit. Tell us about it." Adam smiled, rubbed his hands together, and began talking about his project, a comedy about family values, friendship, and staying true to oneself. His words were sincere, laced with light-hearted jokes that made the audience chuckle. But no one yet knew that the friendly atmosphere was about to shift. It all started with what seemed like an innocent question. Whoopi leaned forward, holding a note card, her tone sharpening slightly. "Adam, you're known for comedies that make people laugh," she began. "But some say your humor is, how should I put it, a bit outdated. People want more serious topics, especially in times like these. Don't you think your jokes sometimes come off as frivolous?" The audience fell silent. Adam raised his eyebrows in surprise but quickly recovered, responding with a smile. "Well, Whoopi, I do what I love, and it seems to resonate with people. Humor's a way to help folks forget their troubles for an hour. Is that such a bad thing?" The audience gave a smattering of applause, but Whoopi didn't back down. She crossed her arms, her tone growing sharper. "But you get that humor is one thing, and responsibility is another. You make these light comedies, but don't you think you're dodging the big issues? The world's changing, Adam. People want stars like you to use your platform for something more." Sarah Haynes shifted uncomfortably in her seat, glancing at Sunny, who tried to smile but betrayed a hint of unease. Adam, however, kept his composure, though his smile tightened slightly. "I respect those who tackle serious stuff," he said, choosing his words carefully. "But I believe laughter is a kind of strength. When people come home after a tough day, and my movie makes them smile, that matters to me." Whoopi shook her head, her voice cutting. "But doesn't that feel a little, what's the word, cowardly? Avoiding tough topics, hiding behind jokes? You've got influence, Adam. Why not use it for something bigger than another golf or summer camp comedy?" The audience gasped. Some in the back rows began whispering, and a few pulled out their phones, sensing the tension rising. Sarah Haynes tried to interject. "Okay, Whoopi, let's be fair, Adam's comedies mean a lot to people." But Whoopi raised a hand, silencing her, and pressed on, locking eyes with Adam. "I'm just saying, you've got a platform, but you take the easy road. Like you never talk about politics or social issues. Why? Are you afraid people won't love you anymore?" Adam clenched his fists, but his face remained calm. He took a deep breath, his voice trembling for just a moment. Whoopi, I'm not afraid. I just believe everyone should do what they're best at. My thing is bringing joy. If someone wants to see me as an activist, that's their call. But I'm not changing who I am to fit anyone's expectations. The cameras hummed, zooming in on Adam's face to catch every expression. Producers backstage exchanged worried glances, sensing the situation slipping out of control. The audience was divided. Some clapped for Adam's words, others waited for Whoopi's response. The tension in the studio was palpable, and it was clear this was only the beginning. The studio of The View was thick with tension. Cameras zoomed in on Adam Sandler and Whoopi Goldberg, and the audience held its breath, waiting for the next move. What started as a friendly interview had spiraled into a full-blown confrontation. Whoopi, unrelenting, continued to press Adam, accusing him of sidestepping serious issues. Adam, maintaining his calm but with visible strain, defended the value of his humor. But no one was prepared for what came next. Whoopi Goldberg leaned back in her chair, her eyes narrowing, her smile now almost sarcastic. She tapped her fingers on the table, as if punctuating her point, and continued. Adam, you say you bring joy. But you know, some people call your movies, how do I put this, shallow. You make comedies about silly situations, but don't you think you're just avoiding reality? The world's on fire, and you're making another film about pizza joints or basketball. Is that your way of changing the world? The audience gasped, and a dead silence fell over the studio. Sarah Haynes covered her mouth, while Sunny Hostin shifted uncomfortably, searching for words to defuse the situation. A viewer in the back row raised a phone to record, and camera operators scrambled to capture every angle. Producers backstage whispered frantically into their headsets, sensing the situation spiraling. Adam Sandler, who had kept his cool until now, leaned forward. His face grew serious, a mix of irritation and hurt in his eyes. He took a deep breath, trying to stay composed, and responded. Whoopi, I respect your view, but let me say something. I don't claim to solve the world's problems. My job is to give people a break. You know what I hear from fans? They say my movies help them through loss, depression, tough times. If you call that shallow, then I'm sorry, but we see the world differently. The audience erupted in applause, but Whoopi didn't relent. She raised a hand to quiet the crowd, her voice sharpening further. Oh, that's real convenient, Adam. Hiding behind a break and dodging responsibility. You're not just a comedian, you're a star. People listen to you. But instead of saying something that matters, you make forgettable movies. Why are you scared to take a risk? Afraid people will see there's nothing behind your jokes. Her words hit like a slap. Adam clenched his fist so tightly his knuckles whitened, his jaw tightening. Sarah Haynes tried to intervene, her voice shaky with discomfort. Whoopi, come on, let's talk about the movie. Adam, tell us about your new role. But Whoopi waved her off, eyes locked on Adam. The studio crackled with tension, the air heavy with the weight of her words. The sounds of clicking microphones and humming cameras only amplified the silence that followed. Adam slowly stood from his chair, and in that moment, everyone knew the climax was near. Adam Sandler stood, staring directly at Whoopi. His voice, usually light and playful, was low and firm, laced with sincerity rather than anger. Whoopi, I respected you as someone who speaks truth. But what you're doing now, that's not truth. It's just cruelty for ratings. You want me to be someone else, but I'm me. And you know what? I'm not ashamed of what I do. My movies aren't about pizza or basketball. They're about people, family, finding joy when the world's falling apart. And if you can't see that, maybe you're the one avoiding reality. The studio erupted in applause, but Adam raised a hand, asking for silence. He turned to the audience, his eyes glistening with emotion, but he held himself together. I didn't come here to justify myself, he continued, addressing the crowd. I came to talk about a movie I made with love. But if all you want is drama, I'm not playing that game. Life's full of conflict already. I choose joy. And I'm done here. With that, Adam removed his microphone, dropped it on the table with a soft clink, and walked toward the exit. The audience froze, then exploded with mixed reactions. Some cheered, others whispered in shock, and a few recorded the moment on their phones. Whoopi sat stunned, her face a mix of irritation and surprise. Sarah and Sunny tried to speak, but their words were lost in the noise. Producers scrambled backstage, security moved toward the stage, but Adam was already gone, his sneakers echoing on the floor as he disappeared behind the curtain. The studio descended into chaos. Whoopi, trying to regain control, turned to the camera with a forced smile. "Well, that was unexpected. We'll be right back after the break." But the cameras kept rolling, capturing the audience's buzz as they discussed what had just happened. Some shouted, "Adam, you're right!" while others whispered that Whoopi had gone too far. Producers panicked, trying to figure out how to wrap the show, as operators caught the final shots of the host's stunned faces. The moment Adam Sandler walked out became viral before the show even ended. Clips of his speech flooded social media, sparking heated debates. Some accused Whoopi of aggression, while others felt she was right to push stars toward greater responsibility. But all agreed, this was a moment that made television history. By the next day, the clip had racked up millions of views. Tabloids screamed headlines, "Adam Sandler humiliates Whoopi Goldberg," and "Did Whoopi go too far?" Fans flooded comments, defending Adam's right to be himself, while others backed Whoopi, arguing stars should use their influence for change. Both reputations were under scrutiny. Adam gained new fans for his authenticity, but some accused him of dodging tough issues. Whoopi earned both praise for her boldness and criticism for her harshness. The conflict raised big questions. Should a star be an activist, or is their job to bring joy? Was Whoopi right to demand more from Adam, or did she cross a line by attacking his choices? And most importantly, did Adam do the right thing by walking out, or should he have stayed to continue the debate? What do you think of this moment? Who was right, Adam or Whoopi? Should stars use their platforms for serious issues, or is their role to entertain? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to stay updated on stories like this. In the days following Adam Sandler's dramatic exit from The View, the internet exploded with reactions. Clips of his speech trended worldwide, with hashtags like #TeamAdam and #WhoopiTooFar dividing fans. Some praised Sandler's stand for authenticity, while others debated whether Whoopi's push for accountability had merit. The moment reshaped how people viewed both figures, sparking conversations about the role of celebrities in a divided world. What's your take? Was Adam right to walk away, or should he have stayed to face the challenge? Share your thoughts below. The clash between Adam Sandler and Whoopi Goldberg teaches us that everyone's contribution, whether through humor, art, or activism, has value in its own way. Joy can be as powerful as advocacy, and personal attacks disguised as critique only deepen division. Respecting others' choices while staying true to your own principles is the key to meaningful dialogue.